Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video I'm going to assemble and paint this Bantha rider from Imperial, which is a Star Wars based game. As you can see, it comes in a blister pack, so I just need a knife to cut this open. And yes, you can tell I'm already making a mess of this. Inside this pack we have a plastic figure, a rule sheet, 2 deployment cards, 3 agenda cards, 6 command cards, 2 skirmish mission cards and 1 reward card. But if you're like me and you're not playing the game, it only comes with a miniature. Here are all the components laid out, and once again this only applies if you're going to use this character in a game. The miniature comes in 5 parts including the base, and I need to give everything a once over with a small file to get rid of the seam lines, and before I glue it all together I'll give it a test fit, so that way I'll know what problems I'll face, and I only have 2. The first being some large gap which needs filling in, and the second is the base is very warped and a little bit too small, so I'm going to make my own, and that way I can have more of an environment. First I mix up some green stuff and I roll it into some snakes and plug in the gaps, and then using a sculpting tool I can blend it in with the Bantha hair, and as you can see it's starting to look quite seamless. I repeat the same process with the back end, then put it to one side to set. I really don't like this small wonky base that it comes with, so I'm going to make my own out of the PVC board. It's going to be about a centimetre wider all around, and the shape is going to look a little bit more organic rather than a perfect oval. Once it's cut out, I smooth down the edges with a sanding sponge, and for now I'll put this to one side and return my attention to the Bantha and the rider, which as you can already see looks better with the new base. Using an old brush I coat everything with a primer, and the reason you have to use an old brush is so you can jam it in between all the hairs in order to get full coverage. I also do the same with the yellow ochre base coat. Then I go over everything with the dark brown wash, and this is followed by light sandy coloured dry brush, and between all 3 colours this gives us some depth. From now on everything needs to be painted with a little bit more care, and I use a bone white for the horns and mouth of the Bantha, as well as the base colour for the sandperson robes. There are several items on the back of this Bantha. They include blankets, tents and bags, so I'm going to use a mixture of several different earthy colours and get them painted up. As you can see there are quite a few layers, so it takes me a little bit of time to get through them all, and once all those are done I can return my attention to the sandperson, and his head, gloves and boots are in a darker shade, and I also use different shades for the ammo belts and pouches that he's wearing. The rifle is made from a mixture of wood and metal, so I use the appropriate colours for those. There are also some metal studs on his mask, although they are quite hard to see at this scale. I use some brown panel liner for all the shading, as this is great for adding some contrast. Plus it also ties together those earthly colour schemes. And once that's dried, I can move on to the dry brushing phase. I picked a light sandy colour and covered the Tusken Raider, plus also gave the fabrics on the Bantha a once over as well. He's now done, so I can move on to the base. And I start off by covering it in a sandy colour, and then I use some black for the edging. This will help separate the model from the gaming board. Because I'm going to add some sand, I first need to cover this with some PVA glue, and then I use an old brush to spread it out, making sure that I don't leave any gaps in the process. It's always advisable to pour the sand out over a sheet of paper, that way you can pick up the excess and put it back in the bag. To help make sure the sand stays in place, I cover it with some fixer. Before it has a chance to set, now's a good time to position the model, as it will sink into place and ensure a firm bond. And once that's had a chance to dry, spray everything with a matte varnish, and this will protect the paint. And there we have it, that's our Bantha rider completed. I do definitely think the bigger base was a better choice, as the one that it came with could barely fit the Bantha on it, and this way at least it feels like it has space to move. Also, I can't see a single seam line, so I'm quite pleased with myself of being able to blend that in. As I said earlier in the video, I don't actually play this game, I just wanted a nice little vignette for my shelf. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, if I can do it, so can you.